Hello students, how are you all today? A hearty and warm welcome to you all to Classroom TV, which takes care of all your educational needs. No need to go anywhere else. All your concerns about academics are well taken care of here, and no need to move here and there. Why speaking, figuratively speaking and literally speaking, no need to move here and there, because right now we are discussing about what happens when body begins to move and what happens when body gets into motion. So in previous few classes we have been discussing about them, and we have studying many practical examples. Physics is like that. We understand the concepts of physics through practical examples itself. And let's just recap briefly what we have been through and what we intend to cover in today's class. So basically we were done with distance, displacement. Distance is done with relative motion. Motion is relative. We have studied that relative motion, everything is relative. That part has been taken care of. Relative term, very important here. Remember, here we emphasize on the word relative here because we will always need some reference point while discussing everything which is moving or which is at rest. Conversely, which is at rest, everything we will be discussing with respect to some fixed reference point. That reference point can be building, that reference point can be a person, anything, and which we have discussed in previous classes, how reference can change, surrounding, observer, position, reference. But here, remember, these are the few things which students tend to forget as they proceed further, like acceleration, equations of motions and all that. They tend to forget that these are all relative. So if you remember this, then it helps in understanding further concepts easily. They are more complicated, but you shouldn't forget this. So we have done with the terms, relative terms, and body begins to move and it covers the distance. And now we have done with the distance also. Moving body covers distance, that also. And displacement. Regarding displacement now, halfway through, and we want to understand much about the displacement. And remember, since we are talking about this motion in straight line, we are talking about motion in straight line here. So distance and displacement both you should understand separately, but distance and displacement in motion in straight line can be used interchangeably. Means instead of saying distance you can say displacement, and instead of saying displacement you can say distance. It's applicable in motion in straight line. But remember, these two are different terms. These two are different terms. You cannot interplace or exchange their places. You cannot replace distance by displacement or displacement by distance. So again, understanding displacement in that context also, how different displacement is. So in this chapter we are going to, in this class we are also going to do comparison, distance and displacement comparison, and time permits, speed, velocity, everything. So in a brief recap again, till now, so this is a map of what we have been through. We are continuously changing the positions, we are shifting, we are moving ahead, but we should always look at what we have been through. So motion, first of all, important here is that position will change with time. Body, time, and with some reference. So position changes with time and also with reference point. And that reference point has to be at rest. Remember, the reference point has to be at rest. It should not be moving. It will create complications. In higher standards, you will study about relative motion, relative velocity and all that. It's much more complicated. Here to keep this thing simple, and first of all to understand the concepts which we can then later on apply to more complex situations. Important is that whenever position of the body changes with time and changes with some reference point, and that reference point should be at rest. Whereas the body which we are studying is changing its position. What happens then? As soon as body begins to change the position, we saw that it will cover some distance because it will take some path. Body travels along the path. So therefore it will cover, this is done. Now again when this displacement also we have studied, and in this class we are going to study further, so just skip this part. What is distance? Scalar quantity. Also remember this scalar relative term, as I told you, remember, don't forget, whenever you begin to study physics, all the terms most of the time are relative. And here scalar and vectors are also important in physics. Physics means what? Study of physical quantities. What is physics? Study of physical quantities. Simple, literal meaning. Physical quantities. Physical quantities. And these physical quantities, when we study, it's essential that we understand whether they are impacted by change in direction or not. So distance is a scalar, wide scalar, that's true. It's not impacted by change in direction. Whether the direction changes, moving bodies changes its direction or whatever, travels in straight line or keeps on circling about, hovering about, that doesn't matter. The magnitude of the distance won't change. Therefore, it's a scalar quantity and it has only magnitude. Even as we are going to study more about displacement, it's better that you keep in mind that displacement is a vector quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity, and we have discussed scalars and vector. Displacement is impacted when body changes its direction, and displacement has both direction as well as magnitude. And we had discussed much more about displacement. Can you recall few of the things which we had discussed about displacement? Specific highlights of the displacement. This we can call them, these are the highlights of the displacement which distinguish distinguishing characteristics of displacement is that direction has to be mentioned. Whenever we speak about displacement, direction has to be mentioned. So we had seen, always we had drawn this, many images we have seen where we were calculating displacement and we have to specify this many. What is the unit of displacement? How do you specify displacement along with direction? The unit of displacement is, you know that SI unit is meter and commonly used unit centimeter, then kilometer, miles, whatever you can use. But how do you specify displacement then? This many meters north, this many meters east, this many meters south, or you have also right and left thing, to the right, to the left, up and down sort of thing. And displacement, again, we have to, while finding out displacement, we will not take into consideration the path covered by the body. So basically the highlight of displacement is that when you are discussing about displacement, you do not consider path at all, ignore the path. If you don't ignore the path, it will become complicated. So you just have to, like body started, whatever, wherever, however, then this, and finally whatever, it's here. This is the path taken by the body, and that path also we have not completely drawn because the paths are overlapping and so on, so we don't want to complicate it. So here it started from A and reached B. Now what you do is that simply remove the path and keep these 2 points there, B. So what does it change? What does it signifies? The new position of the body relative to original position of the body. Body started here, the position of the body was here, and irrespective of the path taken, the final position of the body is this. And also during the journey we have to specify the starting point and final point. So here if we join them by the straight line, so what does displacement say? How far the object is from the starting position, how far? And you will say then doesn't that distance will say the same thing? In fact, if you have to say, whenever you have to say how far you are going to travel and how close the things are, you generally use the term distance, you never use the term displacement. So how far or how close the objects are, you will signify or you will mention them with the help of distance. But that's wrong. In physics, that's unacceptable. Distance doesn't tell you how far the object has traveled. Now use your common sense, use your logic. Physics means brain. Physics doesn't mean anything else. No paper, no pen, no pencil, nothing at all. It's common sense, it's brain. So if distance doesn't signify how far the body has traveled, why then? And if it signifies, if it denotes, if it tells us how far the body has traveled, then how? So you please try to think, does distance tell you conclusively how far the body has traveled? If yes, then why? If no, then also why? So think about it. Take a moment, spare a moment to think about it. Now let's say you started and you have traveled all over the world, Round the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. You must have read it. It's a classic and everyone must read the classics by Jules Verne. But you have traveled around the world and now you have come back to your original place. So you are here. Started A and traveled around the world and you are back. So how far you are from your starting point? You are back to the square one, literally. So how far you are from the place where you started your journey? You are at the same place. And how much distance you have covered? Thousands of miles. Thousands of miles you have covered, but that distance doesn't tell you how far you are from the place where you started from. Does it says? And you might be halfway through. Like you have traveled and now you are on the returning journey and halfway through, again that won't tell you exactly how far you are. The distance keeps on increasing, distance keeps on increasing. In fact, let's say when you came back and you have traveled 1000 kilometers, but you were 0 meter away from the starting. Therefore, distance doesn't signify. The displacement tells us. Therefore, what we do is that we remove the path, join the two positions by the straight line and measure that. Since again you will be measuring it in meter, so the unit of displacement again will be meter, and here lies the confusion. Since we are measuring with same unit, but distance says something else and displacement says something else. Displacement says you how far actually you are. And here we have removed the path and these two positions are there, and what is signifying that? Displacement. So that is the difference between distance and displacement in a nutshell. Distance means how much petrol you have used and even if you have come back, the petrol bill will keep on increasing itself. That is, you understand in that sense. So here displacement means take into consideration the positions, and positions in physics we can signify with term, positions can be signified with term x. Means what? Initial position xi or x1, final position xf. Position generally, like for distance symbol is yes, for displacement also yes, but s bar. And now again I will ask you just to check whether you are now comfortable and how now you are used to these terms. So why do we use yes for distance? Like distance starts with d, so why not we use d for distance? And displacement also starts with d, so why not use d bar? Because now here body travels and it can travel in space, 3 dimensions things are there. So basically the shifting of position is taking place in 3 dimensions. Its shifting of position is taking place in space. So space is being covered or whatever it's related to space, and therefore s and s bar for distance and displacement. But for position the symbol is x. So remember these things, this will help you. These are all the things, these are the hacks, and we are not compromising on concepts. Understanding the concepts, and we want to make the things much more easier also. So in that sense, position symbol is x, and now what is happening first thing when body is in motion? Its position changes. So position, we can write down position x1, x2, x3 and so on. And the starting position we will generally denote with xi and final position xf. If only these two positions are there, then xi and xf. But different positions with changes, we can denote them by this. And what is the thing which connects this position? Does the path taken by the body traveling, it doesn't connect, because connecting x1 and x2, there can be different routes. Going from one place to another, you can select whatever route you want to select. But what exactly connects these positions? Displacement connects this position. Straight line you draw between these two positions, the measure of that straight line is called as displacement. So change in position and displacement, change in position. So change again. If you want to write down the change in position, how will you write down? Change again. There is one particular symbol for change. So if you want to write down, so here we are talking about change in position and displacement. Change in position and displacement are intrinsically related. Distance is a add-on. Distance is a add-on. Distance is a value add-on. Distance doesn't signify anything at all. Everything which we want to know about when body moves is displacement, because it takes into consideration direction also. And we are saying that change in position and displacement are intrinsically related, and symbol for position is x, symbol for displacement is s bar. Now change in position. Remember, position is different and change in position is different. So don't confuse that also. Many times temperature and change in temperature, speed and change in speed, physical quantities, there will always be some change in physical quantities. Whenever you study now, as you go in higher classes also, all the physical quantities, there will be some change associated with them, and those physical quantity itself will be there. So these are two different things. That physical quantity and measure of that physical quantity is one thing, and change in the physical quantity and the amount of change in the physical quantity is totally different thing. So when we are talking about change, so we use the symbol of delta. This is a delta, it's pronounced as delta. So any change in physical quantity, in physics we are talking about physics, change in physical quantity, then you put delta before that physical quantity. So change in position. So what you would, how would you refer, how would you denote change in position then? If you want to denote change in position, what you will use then? So change in position will be denoted by delta x, change in position. And proceeding more further, so change in position is generally change in anything, change in any physical quantity. Here we can apply it. So first, in physics, that's the advantage. If you use your brains, physics is like Amazon or Flipkart. Buy one and get many things free. In Amazon and Flipkart, it will be like buy one and get two free, buy one and get three free. But in physics, it's like understand one thing and understand everything for free, if you apply your mind. That's it. So here delta x is change in anything means what? Final value of that physical quantity, difference between the final value of that physical quantity and the initial value of that physical quantity. And remember now, initial value means what? The starting value when the whole universe began, and that's not the thing. When you begin to observe, whenever you begin to observe, now the body is moving, train is traveling from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and in between now in Hyderabad or at any place, you are observing that train. You are anywhere throughout India, the train is traveling, Jammu Tawi, that express is traveling now, and now it reaches Punjab, it reaches MP, it reaches Andhra, Maharashtra, wherever you are observing that train, that exact moment can be considered as initial. So when you begin to observe, that is the first value, and later on when again you observe, that is the second value. That doesn't mean that nothing was happening before, and that doesn't mean that you stopped observing after 3 values. You took 3 readings. That doesn't mean that train is not going to travel any further. It will reach its destination. So that means the final value is not final in strictest sense. Final value means you stopped observing at that time. What is the meaning of final value? You stopped observing at that time. And what is the meaning of initial value? you started observing at that time. So time also plays very important role. At the very moment you began observing, that is initial. The moment where you stopped observing, that is final. And remember, there will be something before initial and there will be something after final also. So therefore, change is generally what? Final value, difference between final value and the initial values. That is called as here. So change in position, final position minus initial position. Now again now, just to understand it better, so we can see body starts from here, goes here, then it comes here. So these are the different positions taken by the body. So this x1 and x2, suppose you stopped observing at here, then x3 will become final and x1 is the initial. But suppose you start observing from x2, then x2 will become initial and x3 will become final. And suppose till here you have observed x4. So depending upon where you have started observing and where you stopped observing, those two values will be initial and final values. And now, so this, let's say this x3 and x1. So what you will do? Body actually traveled like this, just this and difference. So now here, how to find out x3 and how to find out x1? That is the question you should be asking. Okay, now we want to find out the difference. But what is the value of x1 in the first place? And what is the value of x2, x3, x4, x5 and so on? How to find those values? How to find out the value of the position? Think about it. Don't ask for answers, don't seek the terms, but try to apply your mind. Suppose now you are left in the situation when anyhow you have to find this answer, then what you would do? You are playing a game, and very interesting game on the Android. Somehow you will try the ways and means to excel in that game, to defeat your enemies. Nobody will teach you there. So that concept, that intention, that feeling which possesses you while playing those games and to excel, the same thing consider in physics. How will you find the value of x1 and x2, x3 and so on? How will you find the value of position? This must be the first time you must be hearing, like you have heard about measuring length, measuring mass and so many things, but measuring position. But that is how we proceed further in this chapter. So those things which you will not learn elsewhere, you will learn here. How do you measure position? Think about it. So measuring position will be done with reference to something. Therefore I told you, emphasized on the term relative. Means we have to fix some reference. We have to fix some reference. Once we fix that reference, with the help of that, we can find out these positions. So let's see that. How, but understand that what is displacement? Now delta x, xf, and the change in position is displacement. Therefore, you can write down that delta x is equal to, but delta x is also equal to displacement. So therefore, S bar displacement is equal to change in position and that. And how do you measure displacement? Simple, meter. Correct? So that means this xf minus xi should also be in meter. When these two are same, then their units are same. That means whatever you are doing to measure displacement, same thing you will be doing to measure these positions also. How that is done then? Simply, you take one reference point, and that let's see further. And before that, we will try to understand few more examples, and we will try to understand more things about displacement. But when you are understanding more things about displacement now, think that always you have to take into consideration position. And finally then we will see how to measure position. Finally again means not literally, more things we will be studying about displacement also. But as I told you, final means what? When you stop somewhere, that is final for you, not for everyone. So here look at this. Again, So when we are talking about displacement means what should come to your mind in the first place? Talking about displacement should not come that length, meter, distance, this thing should not come to your mind. When you are talking about displacement, position should come in your mind. So body now here and now, so talking about displacement means what? Body is moving, body is in motion, body is changing its position now, and then at that time it will be covering some path, it will be taking some route. So all these things are ancillary things, associated things which comes along with displacement. But when talking about displacement, what? Initial position and final position. So here that means body is traveling along circular path, the radius is 10 meter, centimeter, whatever. So radius here is given 10, started from A and reached here B. So now find out the distance and displacement. So this we have studied before also. So if you want to find out displacement means what? Ignore the path, join them with straight line, and this line now has become hypotenuse of this right triangle. This is the, and if you want to find out this hypotenuse, simply then Pythagoras theorem you apply, root over, and that you will get as (10√2). So that means, but 10 is radius here. So in general, along the circular path, if you want to find out displacement, now this will help you in solving the numericals. So in general, you can write down that displacement is what? Along the circular path. At that time, you can use this formula, R√2. And here 10√2 has come the value. And now here, the body is here now. So here now what you will find that ignoring the path, you will join them this. Simply you will not consider the travel history. Body has stopped here and body started from here. In between what has happened you are not concerned at all. But this is, we should know. While calculating displacement, this will not have bearing. But to calculate the displacement, you should know this. So here now, same thing will happen now. Apply common sense, use logic. 10√2 will be the value. The displacement here again will be 10√2. But this will lead to confusion now. How can a body be at two different positions at the same time? So there has to be something which separates this position here, C and B. There should be something, some way in which we are able to distinguish. And if we are able to distinguish that, then we are able to distinguish these two displacements. This displacement and the magnitude of this displacement and magnitude of these displacements both are equal. But these are not two equal displacements, different displacements. The position of body here is different, position of body here is different. In the same way, you will come across many instances, body traveling towards north and body traveling towards south. Body has traveled north and body has traveled south. Again 10 meter, 10 meter. So the displacement, magnitude of displacements are same, but their positions are not same. So then again you understand that every time you should consider the position of the body. So how now? So here let's say D, and this is 10 here. So how do you differentiate between this displacement and this displacement, this displacement and this displacement? So simple way is saying that these are equal and opposite displacements. East, west, north, south. You know that east is exactly opposite of west, north is opposite of south. So what other opposite terms come to your mind? Just like north and south are opposite, east and west are opposite, what are the other terms which comes to your mind? High and low. More? Positive and negative. That's right. So we can write down that this is to the right side positive, left side we can write down negative. Now all this we are understanding, keeping in mind that we are started this with one question, how to measure the position. So now we are attributing, we are finding out the various attributes of the position. So one of the position can be called as positive and one of the position can be called as negative. And then displacement can be completely described. So that means the displacement which is AB can be written as displacement AB, and I will write down as S1 bar that can be written as plus 10 root 2, and here this displacement AC, which we will write down as S2, and we will write down as minus 10 root 2. So what does this mean? That these two positions, this displacement is describing two different positions, and these two positions are exactly opposite in direction. If one is east, other has to be west, and east and west again they are relative. So that means east and west with respect to what? East and west with respect to the starting point, with respect to the starting point, which is A. So B is to the east with respect to A, and C is to the west with respect to A, and therefore we have written it as positive and negative. So here, but regarding distance now, it has travelled along the circumference, and distance cannot be negative. So distance will be different and displacement will be different. So understanding about distance and displacement, important here to understand that distance can never be negative, whereas displacement can be positive, negative, as well as it can be zero. In this way now, more distinguishing factors, and again our emphasis is that to understand more and more about the displacement. So displacement and direction, because displacement involves direction, therefore one direction we will take it as positive and another direction we will take it as negative. And again then, why not always say east, why not always say west, north, south? Because again all these directions are relative to the starting position. Now somebody, you are sending this information to someone else, that someone else will not identify, because where you are from your position, east, west, north, south will be completely different from north, east, south, west for that person. Therefore generally we do not specify those direction, but saying positive and negative, it becomes very easy, simple, that these are opposite directions. Therefore we use positive and negative, we do not make use of the directions. So how to, the general like thumb rule is that anything to the right, here as you can see, anything to the right will be taken as positive, and anything to the left will be taken as negative. Anything up or north will be taken positive, south will be taken negative. So now understand, left and right positive, negative, east and west positive, negative, up and down positive, negative, north and south positive, negative. Then again the question is with respect to what? That is important here. So let's try to understand that. With respect to what? With respect to the reference point. So now reference point means what? The point where the journey began, where the body began to move, that we will take it as a reference point. Now why, what is the significance now? See here, this we can consider as a x-axis, and what we are doing is that wherever the body started moving, on the road, ground, anywhere, wherever the body started moving, what we will do is that put x-axis there. Now again you will ask, sir, but x-axis is straight line, but body is moving haphazardly anyway. Anyway body is trying to move, any which way body is trying to move. Then how can we put x-axis along that? Because x-axis is a straight line. Then what is the answer for that? Because we are measuring displacement, and displacement is a straight line connecting the 2 points. So therefore one of the point, which is the starting point, there we will put the x-axis, and we will extend that x-axis till the final position of the body. Let's say body stopped here, and this was the path. We're not interested in the path. This is the starting point. Here we kept the x-axis. Wherever the body began to move, we kept the x-axis, and we extended that x-axis till the point where body stopped. Now you will say, sir, if the like body started here and it stopped here, then what? It's not horizontal, no? It's inclined. Doesn't matter. X-axis can be drawn between any 2 points. It's a plane. In a plane it doesn't matter. X-axis should be horizontal and Y-axis should be vertical. This also, this is X-axis and this is Y-axis. Any 2 points can be joined by X-axis. Any 2 points can be joined by Y-axis. It has to be only straight line, not necessary horizontal and not necessary vertical. So anywhere body would have stopped here, then this would have become the X-axis. If the body had stopped here, then this would have become X-axis. And now instead of like this, in our mobile phone, when you click the pictures, there is a feature of rotate. You can rotate the things. So if you rotate this will become horizontal. No issues at all. Therefore, any straight line can be considered as X-axis, any straight line can be considered as Y-axis. Now, what is the significance now? We have joined the 2 positions by X-axis. What is the significance? As you have seen in graph paper, there are markings are there. Those markings now can be made to coincide with the scale markings, that measuring tape marking. So, 1 meter or 1 kilometer or 10 kilometer or 100 kilometer or 1 meter, these distances you can easily take the scale, whichever scale you want, whatever scale you want, you can take there. So here these markings are there. We will study this more on the graph paper also, but here these markings are there on the X-axis. Now these markings can be made to coincide with the markings on the scale, measuring scale. Now remember, measuring scale means not just meter scale. Measuring scale means what? It measures the length. It can be in kilometer, it can be in miles, and whatever units you want to choose, you can choose for the measuring scale here. So here it's up to you. Like body travel very large distance, what you say, the difference in the positions, the body is very far away from the starting point. So you can say that 10 kilometer, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever. So then what will happen now? Initial position, what is the value of the initial position then? What is the value of the initial position here? 0 of the scale we are putting there. So we have already measured xi, which is 0. So we were talking about how to measure the position, correct? And now initial position, what is the initial position? Now you tell, just simple question, you tell which value will you prefer, which value is very easy to add, subtract, multiply, divide, which value? It's 0 value. So you can, it doesn't taxes your brain. Adding 0 to anything or subtracting 0 to anything doesn't tax your brain. So therefore, initial position, instead of taking any other random value, which again is possible and which you will study in higher classes, but the choice is given to you, select the most convenient value for initial position, and you have selected the starting of the scale, that is 0, and you have measured the initial position. This is what we were talking about, how to measure the initial position. Initial position has become 0, and now you have put the scale, you have put the measuring tape here, and you stretch that measuring tape, stretch that tape scale till this final point, and whatever value will be there, so that will become your final point, value of this on the scale. It's not random value. On the scale, what is the value of the final point? The reading of the scale. The final point you have put it on the scale, and what is the value of that final point? What is the reading on the scale at that position? That becomes the final value. Let's say it's 100 kilometer. So XF is what then here? 100 kilometer. Now don't just stop here. Your mind should be racing. We are studying about motion, and you want to travel in a sports car, Ferrari Alfa Romeo you want to travel. You don't want to travel in Maruti Zen. So here, don't just, so you have found out initial position and you have found out final position. What's next? Immediately your mind should race. Why we have been doing all this? We have been doing all this to find out the displacement. So let's proceed there. No need for any invitations. You should yourself race. And now what about displacement then? What we have seen before, displacement is what? Final position minus initial position. So put the values. Final position 100 kilometer, initial position 0. And why do we keep kilometer? Because we are measuring here length. We are measuring the length of the straight line. That also is signifying the displacement. And therefore the length of that straight line, the unit of the length of the straight line and the unit of the displacement, both are same. Kilometer, meter, centimeter, miles, whatever you want to take, you can take the unit as per your convenience. So then what is the value then? Do it. 100 kilometer minus 0. So what do we get then? 100 kilometer minus 0, that is equal to 100 kilometer. So what is the displacement then? 100 kilometer, right? Now suppose this body traveled, continued traveling. It traveled further and reached here. Reached this side. That doesn't change the initial point. Remember that will not, because initial point is where you began to observe, and you began to observe here, and here also you are observing, and now further also you are observing, and your observation is continuing, and it has come here, and you may keep on observing further also. But right now we have pressed a pause button here now. So now you want to find out displacement again. So what you would do? So the path is a nice way, nice guide. It doesn't actually impact the calculation. So you just look at the path, ignore the path after looking, because you are finding out displacement. So ignore the path, but just look at the path. And here, why? Because the body stopped here. And then what you do? Ignore the path. And next what? Next what? Repeat. What you did before, you repeat. So initial position is here. Draw the x-axis from the initial position to the final position. That's what we have done here. Drawn the x-axis here now. Then what you will do? Put the scale on that x-axis as per your unit, kilometer, meter, miles, whatever. And then what you will do? Then again initial position value xi remains 0. Initial position value xi will always remain 0. Then what you will do? Now this is a final position. You will say, sir, this was also final position and this is also final position. How that is possible? As I told you, wherever you stopped observing, wherever you press the pause button, that is the final position time being. Presently, this is the final position. At that time, this was the final position. Future, this may be the final position. So final positions, initial position on the other hand will remain the same throughout. Bear this in mind. Once you start calculating displacement, initial position will not change at all, but new positions keep on getting added up, and each new position can be considered as a final position for in that context of time, in that time frame. If you have paused there, then and between these 2 points you want to find out the displacement, then here this becomes a final position, this is final position. Any position can double up as a final position. So now this is the final position, initial position, scale is there, and you do the measurement. Then you get again xf is 100 kilometer. Then again you use the formula xf minus xi. But then if this is also 100 kilometer and this is also 100 kilometer, that is not possible at all. How can that be possible? Then what to do then? So you have negative x-axis also. Just as you have positive x-axis, negative x-axis, positive y-axis, negative y-axis. So this is now exactly opposite to that position. So this becomes your negative x-axis and this value is 100. So this becomes your negative 100, minus 100. But minus 100 and 100. Not much difference. Remember that. Negative doesn't mean something very bad, something which you will look down upon. Hey, we don't want to deal with negative, and positive. Here negative and positive imply exactly opposite things, black and white. This is white and this is black, black and white. Between colors you cannot say these two colors are opposite, but between colors you can say black and white are exactly opposite. So if you want to convey something, these are exactly opposite things, then you can use the term black and white. Then you can use the term in the same way, you can use the term positive and negative. Now again, black and white, which is better? Someone will like black color, someone will like white color, someone may like some other color. So that doesn't make any person better, or that doesn't make any person bad. In the same way, positive and negative here doesn't make 100 means very less, minus 100 means very less, and plus 100 means much higher. Because when you are traveling in this straight line, still your petrol will be consumed. Your displacement might be minus 100 kilometer. That doesn't mean that the petrol in your fuel tank has automatically now increased. In this the petrol was decreasing and here the petrol has increased. That doesn't mean that. So everything remains the same. The positive and negative means they are exactly opposite direction, like east and west. So now what you will do then here? Xf minus xi, how will you substitute that? So some changes will be need to make. So we will have to take into consideration the signs here, positive, negative sign. So what is the initial value? Final value, what is the final value? Minus 100. Don't forget that, and don't say that minus 100 means very less, negative we don't want to deal. Minus 100 is a value, and it is exactly like whatever significance is to plus 100, same significance is to minus 100, and then minus 0. So that will be what? Minus 100 kilometer. So the displacement now is minus 100 kilometer. And how did we find out displacement? By finding the values of initial and final positions. We have found out the values of initial and final positions, and then the difference between them gave us the displacement. This in nutshell is about displacement. And what does displacement tells us? How far the body or the object is from the starting position, how far it is. How much it has traveled? That is not at all our concern here, how far it is. So let's move. So just spare a moment, absorb the things, and try to now think, while we moved there, we went to that mall or we went to that multiplex and we took different route and this was the displacement. In this way, whatever is interesting to you, try to apply these concepts there. Before starting watching this classroom TV, you went somewhere else and you came back. So what was your displacement? 0. But what is the distance traveled by you? You will have to measure that. And suppose you started from your place, but your other friends also are having classroom TV, and you have gone through your friend's place. So what is your displacement? It won't be 0 now. Now tomorrow you go to some other friend's place to watch classroom TV, then some other displacement it will be. So now if you have travelled in opposite direction, the displacements will be negative. One displacement will be positive, one displacement will be negative. And this is how we may make use of graph paper. So for finding out displacement, we need graph paper. And why do we need graph paper? Because displacement depends upon position. So here, wherever the body starts, as you can see, this is called the origin, Cartesian. This is Cartesian axis, we can also call them Cartesian axis. So here these are Cartesian, named after a famous scientist, and where these two axes, x-axis and y-axis, intersect, that is called as origin. And what we do is that we take help of this. So wherever the body started moving, what we will do is that anywhere now look at this, considering this plane, this is where the body started to move. This is where the body started to move. And what we did is that we put the Cartesian axis over there and 0 over here. And suppose the body is traveling horizontally. Suppose it has reached here, like traveling like this and reached here. Then what you are going to do? This is the value of xi, this is value of xf, right? And then subtract. Again, while traveling, whatever the path might be, it has reached here, this. Now let's say body is here, traveled, body is traveling and reached here. What do you do then? Body is traveling and reached here. That same x-axis you can rotate, or you can put y-axis over there. No issues at all. Then again, this is initial position, this is final position. In this way, different positions you can label. Body can have different positions while traveling. So suppose it is here and you want to find out distance or displacement. Here x1, x2, x3, x4 and so on, but always they will be in a Cartesian axis, and this is called as frame of reference. Whenever we are, this starting position has become our reference position. The starting position has become our reference position, and in that we have involved now x-axis and y-axis, and also now we have a clock. A timer is there with us, timer. So please pay total attention with total concentration. So body started at any random position. Body can start anywhere. There what we have done is that we have put this Cartesian axis, x and y axis with 0 there. And that starting position becomes our reference position or reference point, and when we put this x and y axis, that becomes reference frame. Frame, like photograph frame is there, it's like a rectangle, it's like a square, correct? Now anywhere the body might move, it is within the grasp of our measurement. We can measure it, exactly we can measure it. By putting this x and y axis frame there, we can measure it. And this frame contains the reference point, therefore this frame is called as reference frame. This frame is called as reference frame. Now you will say, sir, this x-axis and y-axis, anywhere you can apply. You are traveling in bus. So where the bus started, you can put this x and y-axis. So now the bus becomes your reference frame. Anywhere, we will see more examples, but what you have to do is that these two scales you will put up, and this is called as reference frame, and within that reference frame easily you can find out displacements by locating their positions. Now look at x1. How do you find the value of x1? It is like, suppose here, so y-axis is 9 and this is, let's say, 7. So you will write down here 9 and 7. In this way you can locate the position anywhere. So let's continue. This is interesting topic. Now just to give you a glimpse of what's in store for you in next episodes, next classes. Interesting things are lined up for you in our next classes, wherein we are going to make use of these tools. Reference frame, you can apply it anywhere, and you can find out the change in position, you can find out the change in displacement, x-axis, y-axis, east becomes plus x, west becomes minus x, north becomes plus y. This all interesting stuff is lined up for you. Don't go anywhere else. I know that we are all eager to continue this, but time doesn't permit that. So let's press a pause button here, and with the promise that more interesting things we will discuss in the next topic. Till then, whenever you move about, you can keep on applying what distance you have traveled, what is the displacement, what is the time taken, all these things, and this will make this study more interesting and more easy to understand. So till that time, hasta la vista to all of you.